Hello guys. Windshield coils are starting to get dirty. I thought it was this one. But actually, I may be wrong. I think it's over here. Sorry, and telepacks we got. I don't know if they're considered in telepacks, but yeah, this guy's not right. We got a blower. Just nothing else. So let's get these panels open and see what's going on inside. So I'm seeing I've got an overload tripped here. This is going to be one of my compressors, I'm assuming. Feeds that contactor, and that contactor looks a little rough. I have to get the cover off to see exactly, but I do have the dreaded flash code on the RTRM that tells us nothing. So we are locked out. So let's start there. Let's look at our compressor and see why we may have tripped. It may have just been that contactor. I see some burn marks on the outside there, so that's likely our cause, but we'll check our compressor first, make sure it's okay, get that cover off and check that contactor. We can see this is our guy here, 83 degrees. The rest of them are doing fairly well. See what alarms we got. Compressor 1, high pressure lockout. Now your high pressure lockout is going to be that overloads the last thing in the circuit, so it does not see it as the overload tripped. It will show the high pressure lockout. So let's get up there, and it's going to be probably that contactor. So we'll check that compressor out and go from there. So nothing too abnormal here. It all looks normal. I'm just going to check them with ground, make sure I'm not grounded. Really wish they did their control different. You'd think it would let the other stage take over, but it completely locks everything out, which is kind of ridiculous. We have lost a crankcase heater, but that's not my problem right now. I guess that could have caused an overload to trip. It comes off that same contactor, but I don't have any shorts to ground, so let's may ohm this guy out just to see what it ohms out like, and then we'll throw a contactor on this thing and flip the switch, cross our fingers. So let's get an ohm reading and see where we're at. 0.8. 0.8. It's 3-phase, so it should be the same. 0.89. Okay, close enough. It ought to run. We pop that cover off the contactor. Let's put all this back together. So that is what I was seeing, is all that discoloration. And that contactor is ate up. So let's get it out of there. Doesn't look like I'm using my auxiliary switches, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change both of them out. I see a little bit of discoloration on this one, not nearly as bad, but while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and do both. Alright, so got new contactors in. We're using lugs. I was able to pull just enough slack out of these wires. I had to get my middle bar back in here, but we should be okay. I went ahead and left. We're not using the auxiliary switches. I'm not sure exactly why they were there. I would assume the crankcase heater, but I don't know. So that was the bad one. I mean, and it's ate up. This one wasn't nearly as bad, but it's getting there. So it was time for both of them to go. They saw it take care of us. I'm gonna button this guy back up, get everything back together, and then we'll cycle it on we'll get amp draws and we'll go down and monitor our supplier. Everything else should be all right. I don't see anything weird going on inside here. There is a little bit of buildup on that coil, but it's not too bad. You can see through it, so we ought to be all right from there. So belt's good and tight. It's in decent shape. You can see I've been in here. I had a leak down here. I don't know, a few years ago. Well, I hadn't got that repaired and got all the tubing on there. So put this panel back on and cycle this guy. Not sure why my RTRM is still flashing. I did turn my overload back on. May go away in a second. What is our amp draw supposed to be? Let's see. 23 amps. Compressor 1, 21 amps the other compressor. So we'll let it cycle on. We'll get us an amp draw and watch the temperature come down. These guys ought to be happy. The other thing I hate about these things, first of all, this middle bar is in your way. Second of all, they put this stinky crap everywhere. Now I've got it all over my damn tools and everything. Oh, there went the blower. We'll give it a minute, let the compressors kick in. Alright, so we cycled on. Got 20 amps, 19 amps. So that ought to be good. That is stage 1. That's 23. Have all my fans running. We ought to be good to go. I checked all my fuses too, but we're just gonna monitor for a little while. We'll get an amp draw on the other guy. The other guy should be fine. That one didn't trip the overload. Like I said, I don't know why you wouldn't let another stage run just because your overload trips, and that is the last thing out of in the low voltage circuit, so it will show high pressure. Even on the old ones, your overload trips, you'll get a high pressure alarm. Now you got both of them pulled in. It's 17 amps. That one was the one 18. That's the one that was rated at 21. So I mean we're within range. I don't see anything majorly wrong here. It was probably just the carbon tracking on that contactor. Can't get on it. So we're gonna we'll leave these panels open for a little while we monitor and go down and just check our supply temp. We ought to be good from there. Right, so we can see cooling capacity is 100%. We're doing 58 degrees supplier right now. Set point 55. This is a VAV system. Returner 76. So returner is probably not 100% accurate. I don't know where that sensor is, but it's doing about 20 degrees. See, that contactor was 8 up. Yeah, I'd say that had something to do with it. I mean, that contact there is almost gone, but you can see the carbon around all of them. So this was a quick, easy fix, short video. I'll probably throw it up with something else, another short video I got or something. Give y'all a little 2 calls in one. So, and on to the next one. Why I'm working on a Cambridge unit right now, I don't know, but just do what I'm told. Reset light keeps coming on down at the panel. They're trying to get it's in summer ventilation mode. I've heard the blower runs for about a minute or two, and then that reset light comes on, so it's probably maybe the high limit open from heating season. Could be an airflow switch not making, something like that. So we're gonna tear this guy open and see if we can get the summer ventilation to stay on. So belts probably could be tightened a little bit, but they're all right. Actuator looks a little rough, but they all look like that. And we know the actuator's working because the blower came on. So actuator drives the damper open. When it hits the in switch, it brings the blower on. And I've heard the blower run, so I know that's okay. And the belts aren't loose enough to worry too much about right now. So let's get over to the other side and see if we've got high limit or something open. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Everything looks normal. It shouldn't be the blower overload because the blower ran and it wouldn't run if the overload was tripped. Get in here on our high limit. So the high limit's closed. So why the hell gas pressure switch isn't tripped? I'm not sure what the hell else would cause that. Let's do this. Hear the actuator driving, and the blower's gonna kick in. Good Lord. These are a little loud. Let's keep digging in. We'll let it run like this for a little while. We're gonna have to adjust those belts. Man. Good Lord. So it cycled off in local too. That's about what it did earlier. Might be one of those auxiliary switches. One of them I think should have been closed. Nah, those belts are hot. They're just slipping. Alright, so it's 17 amps at 460, so the amp draw's okay. We'll adjust the belts. Airflow switch was closed, so I'm gonna be back to one of these auxiliary relays or something. So the wire diagram doesn't show it really well, because here's my G call, and it just goes to the relay. That's my blower relay there. And if you look at this here, it says summer ventilation, blower runs. Boom, period. Nothing in between. But I was kind of looking over this book, and all the troubleshooting guide just basically shows troubleshooting the heat. But if we see this here, summer ventilation goes through the LTC, which is the low temp cutout. Why it doesn't show them a low temp cutout here, I don't know. But that is going to be my low temp cutout there, and I can't see it. I don't Son of a bitch. I think I did just see it. And it's not there. Well, I think we found a problem. I'm not sure if there... I mean, there's got to be a resistor or something floating around here. I got sucked into the blower. It might be down in the space. It could be anywhere. Nope, it's right there. How about that? I have no idea how the hell that happened, but that's what's gonna lock me out. I bet if we get that connected again, it ought to be all right. Not sure why it snapped like that. It's not really secured. There's just a hole right there that it sticks through. So let's get some wire nuts, connect that, and I bet this thing runs. So let's give this guy another shot. I don't have wire nuts right now, but we just put our temp sensor on there. We're gonna kick our blower on, and we're just gonna watch it run for longer than 5 seconds. I'm gonna step back because this thing's fucking loud. I've tightened the belts up. We'll see how squealy it is now. That sounds a little better. It's not too bad. So it's looking for this temp sensor. I'm assuming the temp sensor's okay. It just got, I don't know what happened to it, but it broke. At least I found it. So we'll quote them a new temp sensor, but for right now it ought to be fine. I'm gonna wire nut it. I gotta go all the way down and get wire nuts, but and then we'll shove it back into return there. And just give this guy a little bit. I'll probably go grab my wire nuts, come back and see if it's still running, and we'll know if we got our only problem. So it's shut off, and my sensor's failed. I got no resistance at all on it. I don't have a resistance book or anything to tell me what it's supposed to be, but I know it's supposed to have something. So my only other option at this point, I'm going to make another trip down. We'll have to, they had their averaging sensors, which I don't know why, because they've got one on top of the control box and one on bottom of the control box. They're right within a foot of each other. So I think they're the same sensors. I should be able to use one of those sensors up here, at least temporarily, until we can get a new sensor in. So that's my goal at this point. Actually, got too many sensors. These two are tied together. And then I have another one same way with two of them up top. So I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So that down there wasn't gonna work. I'm just playing with my wire here, and I got some resistance out of it. It's kind of dancing all over the place. So this probably ain't gonna work for long, but every time I disconnected a sensor down there, it wasn't reading the correct temp. I'm gonna strip these back a little further, see if I can't get it reading resistance, at least good enough to run until my tail light warranty's up. And we're gonna have to order a new sensor, so I'll see what I can get. All right, so for now I got it stubbed in there. I've got some rain coming. Couldn't ask for a better day. We might actually get caught up this Friday. It's about 72 degrees and no humidity. So whether this guy runs or not, it is what it is. They just kind of do without ventilation until we can get a sensor. I'm gonna get the hell off this roof. Just doing some paperwork, but we must have done some kind of good. I'm gonna let her know it's not gonna last, but don't touch anything. Let it run until it don't, because we're gonna have to order a sensor. Thanks for watching. Leave the trade better than you found it. We'll see you guys next time.